So pag pinag-add natin yung mga substances in the reduction reaction and oxidation reactions, magka-come up tayo dun sa original problem. Okay? And the last step, you have to add the cell potential or E naught for the reduction and E naught for the oxidation so as to get the overall or the total cell potential for this equation. Okay, so 0.34, positive 0.34 volts plus 0.76 volts will have positive 1.1 volts. Paano natin to i-interpret? Okay, we have rules that if E naught or if the cell potential is positive, the redox reaction is spontaneous. If that's spontaneous, the reaction could produce electrical energy coming from the chemical energy and can therefore be used for a voltaic cell. If the cell potential is negative, this indicates that the reaction is non-spontaneous, meaning it will not occur on its own. Thus, it will need electricity so that the reaction will happen. So this is ideal for an electrolytic cell. Another example, so aluminum plus lead ion plus 2, giving you aluminum ion plus 3 plus lead. Okay, so identify natin kung alin ang na-reduce at na-oxidize. So by definition, reduced is the gain of electrons. Once it was gained, the charges decreases. So alin ba ang nag-decrease? So from itong lead, from positive 2, ang kanyang oxidation number or oxidation state or charge, naging 0. Paano naging 0 to? Kasi one of the rule in assigning oxidation state, kapag elemental, automatic na 0. So there's a decrease in the charge, so therefore it gains electron or it was reduced. For aluminum on the other hand, so aluminum na elemental, ang charge nito ay 0, naging positive 3. So there's an increase in the charge from 0 naging positive 3. So therefore this is an oxidation reaction kasi electrons has been lost. Okay, so once na-identify na natin kung alin ang redox at alin ang oxidation at ang reduction, hanapin natin sila dun sa table. So for lead, positive 2 going to or be turning into lead. So ito siya, positive 2. Ito na yung gain of electrons. Laging tatandaan, ang gain of electrons, sa gain of electrons, nasusulat yung plus electron sa reactant side. So, ito na yung lead na solid. For aluminum, okay, before we proceed to the aluminum, the cell potential is negative 0.13 volts. For the aluminum, okay, so since na-identify natin ang aluminum ay oxidation, so coming from this reduction table, talagang magkakabaliktad sila. So the aluminum here is on the aluminum plus 3. Ito. Aluminum plus 3 is on the reactant side and the aluminum solid is in the product side. So kailangan lang nating i-flip ito. Okay, so that is negative 1.66 volts. Kapag kailangan i-flip, ulitin natin, ang charge lang ang nag-iiba. Okay, so ito yung solution natin. The reduction reaction happens in the cathode palagi. So that lead plus 2, ito yung gain of electrons. Gain of electrons, ulitin ko, na idadagdag siya sa reactant side, producing this one lead. So ito yung value ng kanyang cell potential, negative 0.13 volts. This was the same with the table. Oxidation reaction which happens in the anode, that aluminum, okay, producing aluminum ion plus 3 electrons. Okay, so the cell potential here would be plus 1.66 volts. Nag-change yung sign niya kasi it was flipped. Now, for this specific example, the loss and gain of electrons are not the same. Lead gains an electrons of 2 and aluminum loss an electron of 3. So, hindi sila makakancel pag we proceed into the later part. So, kailangan natin mag-isip ng any number that will be multiplied to each of this and we're going to have the same number of electrons. For this case, babalik rin lang natin. Kung ito may 2 electrons, ito 3 electrons, so therefore, these 3 electrons will be multiplied by 2 and the 2 electrons will be multiplied by 3 para maging 6. Parehas silang 6. Okay, once you multiply these equations with a factor, okay, always bear in mind that the cell potential will not be affected by any multiplier. Ang nangyayari, ang nakaka-affect lang kay cell potential ay yung pag-flip. At ang effect lang sa kanya ay positive or negative, yung pag-change lang ng sign. Hindi natin ito minumultiply. Ulitin natin, hindi ito minumultiply kahit na may multiplier dito sa mga equations na to. Okay? And from that, so syempre, the 3 will be multiplied to the lead. That's why we have 3 lead positive 2 here. Then the 3 will be multiplied to 2. Kaya meron tayong 6 electrons dito. And the last, the 3 will be multiplied to the lead solid here. So we have 3 Pb here. Ganun pa rin yung kanyang cell potential. With the oxidation reaction naman, with a multiplier of 2, so that aluminum will have 2 aluminum producing that aluminum ion Al plus 3 will have 2 as its coefficient kasi nga dinidistribute lang natin or minumultiply natin lahat ng mga substances na nandito sa equation. And that 3 electrons will now become 6 kasi nga with that multiplier. Okay, so since parehas na ang electrons gains and loss natin ngayon, pwede na natin silang pag-addin, and when we add those substances that could be found in the reactant side, okay, and at the same time can be found on the product side, basta pag nakita mo silang nasa both reactant and product, pwede silang makancel. So ang maiiwan lang dito ay itong equation sa baba. Okay, and when adding, okay, so we have, when we add here, ang makukuha natin ay total of positive 1.53 volts, and that would be the total cell potential for the whole equation. With that positive sign, this indicates that the reaction is spontaneous and it is suitable for a voltaic or galvanic cell.